What's going on, everybody? And welcome to the second episode of the Anime Agenda podcast. We're your hosts, LordKs, also known as Josh. Oh, nigga, I'm starting that over. So how I got it also known as my real fucking name. I'm good to keep. I'm good to just go. Right?
Just go.
How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome to the second episode of the Anime Agenda podcast. I'm Josh, also known as the LordKs. We're your host. We also got
Will, known as Kaizen,
and Matt, known as Amagara.
one of our hosts is missing tonight. Thank you, Senpai, or Nard. He's missing. He's got some work to do, but we're gonna keep you going through the night. So, what we want to start off talking about today?
Comic-Con. How about that? Let's talk about DC. Marvel right now. The hottest shit
DC might do it. I mean, like Wonder Woman was something they definitely needed to pull them out of like the rut that they were having with this shitty shit they were putting out.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, now that Flashpoint is the thing, that might do it for me.
Which I just found out in like 20 minutes ago. They're doing a Flashpoint movie.
Yeah, that was a big like reveal at San Diego. I mean, they had like a whole poster for it and everything. It's like officially updated on IMDb, and there's been about within the past like 10 hours easily like 10 to 20 different articles on it. So there's a lot of like information about this out right now, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah, we're a little fresh on it, just finding out like right before the recording, but we'll have more information on it in the next episode. But man, doing a Flashpoint Paradox type movie, that could really change the game as far as like, because Marvel hasn't even done parallel universes or anything like that. And if you haven't seen the Flashpoint Paradox animated movie, I definitely suggest checking that out.
Damn all that. My man Negan as Thomas Wayne. This movie about to be lit. Oh yeah, boy.
Nigga coming through straight busting shots. That
you fuck all this other night, and I just need Thomas Wayne, and I'm good. I'm actually really good.
And you know what, I'm amped for that shit too, but at the same time, it's like I would love to see what's the Wonder Woman's actress name? Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot.
Yeah. Dude, I would love to see her play a fucking savage like the Wonder Woman in Flashpoint. I would love to see that shit.
Mm-hmm. I actually would like to see Lex Luthor and Deadshot and all, not Deadshot, but Deathstroke. That team up was pretty. I want to see that. That was pretty dope in the movie to see.
Yeah, it was a lot of really cool stuff in there. Like the fact that all the superheroes got at least a few seconds of shine, and it didn't feel like they were just wasted. And I feel like that could be a good stepping stone to like cast each of these characters for later movies and fix the whole Lex Luthor thing from Batman v Superman as well.
Yeah, this movie probably be a huge. Well, you can't even say that. Marvel also had Fox had a go back in time and fix everything type of movie.
With X-Men, right?
Yeah, with X-Men. And that turned out was probably the best out of the trilogy so far.
Anything to wash the taste out of Last Stand out of your mouth.
Yeah. No kidding.
Yeah. So
that was bad.
That was probably the greatest retcon in Marvel history, pretty much.
I can agree with that because First Class was out here.
Yeah.
I fucked with it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, then again, never mind. Let me rephrase that. I fuck with Quicksilver. So.
Yeah.
There you go.
What DC needs to do is make that movie with Flashpoint, and we'll be okay. DC will literally be okay.
It's just funny how like DC just can't catch a break. Like I know that they get something hype, and then I know Marvel's gonna just answer back, and it's the same way the way they had it with like everyone was hyping up Wonder Woman and how great that shit was, and I love the movie like hands down. It was great, and it was probably one of the best movies they put out since Dark Knight. But as soon as Spider-Man dropped, ain't nobody talking about that shit no more.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Before we start heading into Marvel, how do we feel about the Justice League trailer?
Oh, it's hype, but the only problem with that is DC makes great trailers. Just shit movies.
Okay.
Yeah. They can do camera work really well, but like the moment you get into like the actual theater, it's like
I'm a little bit
over.
I'm a little bit more okay with the movie because they took out who's that one dude that's was fucking up the director BVS.
Zack Snyder.
Yeah, Zack Snyder. He's not like really a part of it. It's the guy who made the first Avenger. What is the guy who created the first who did the first Avengers movie is doing Justice League. So
okay.
Not Feige, right?
not Feige, whatever. But yeah, that movie was okay. The movie was good. So I'm gonna have a little bit more faith because he knows, at least he knows how to do a superhero movie justice.
Yeah, like I don't. Oh, was Joss Whedon?
Joss Whedon, yeah, Joss Whedon's doing Justice League right now.
Well, I mean, you know, he's got a great resume in general.
So yeah, I'm not.
But the only problem
just speaking of that, now I was just rerunning Firefly yesterday.
The only problem with that is he only came in to close out the movie. He didn't. He only had like enough time to do reshoots, and so the movie was pretty much done by the time he jumped on.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. So
yeah.
So he might have been given a bowl of shit. I'm like, fuck.
In fact, I think we were talking about that. Yeah, that it was kind of too late for him. But that it's good to have him in general in DC. So even if this movie doesn't take off like it's supposed to, and if we really look back on it, like Avengers when it first dropped was dope. But when you look back, it was a really basic.
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
I mean,
but I think
superhero films is like evolving. You know,
yeah,
it's always getting bigger. The threat always got to, especially in a universe, the threat always got to get bigger. So,
right, and you know that's really what it's going to come down to. And I think with DC, it's a little bit different than Marvel in the sense that the bar is raised so high on Marvel movies, whereas DC sets a lower bar.
Yeah.
So the best DC movie might be mid-tier Marvel, but we'll look at that DC movie a little bit better because we expected shit.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Plus, it'd be nice to see any movie from DC put out outside of Wonder Woman, obviously, to be carried other than by Batman, because DC's been relying too heavily on him for a long time.
Yeah,
it's a long time coming.
But yeah.
Do we want to jump over to Marvel and how we feel about Homecoming?
Oh yeah, we can do that. I just finally they were really waiting on me. Like I'm a little late bloomer on that. I just went and saw it yesterday. Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah.
So you know, since you got it like really fresh in your mind, like what you like.
Oh, everything. That whole movie was great. The casting was great. Michael Keaton killed the role, you know, for the villain. Like that whole movie was just perfect. Like you said to me going into it, the way that they did Spider-Man and his abilities was perfect because when you're watching a typical, you know, Spider-Man or superhero movie, when the character gets his powers, he might go through like a 5-minute montage of learning how to use it, then he's straight.
Yeah.
But this whole movie, Spider-Man was clumsy as shit.
Yeah. Are we going into? We might as well just start this. I should put it like a spoiler tag or something because I kind of want to actually go in. It's been out for what 3-4 weeks now.
It's been out for a little more than that.
We could, I'd say keep it light, but yeah, we can.
Yeah. It's hard to talk about the movie.
Well, like there's a lot of things that he does in it that's like very like from scratch and stuff like that compared to how he showed up in Civil War. Because like in Civil War, like he still like was kind of trying to, he's using the science behind his powers and stuff like that, like to take down Ant-Man. And then you get to Homecoming, you see that he's still like really trying to figure out like what he can do with these powers. Like he's really dealing with a lot of like small crime, like petty crime in this like city. And then, you know, you have Vulture come along and you're just like, okay, where are you going to go with this? So like, it's kind of like a pretty good ride because you get to see and join Peter and how he like evolves into like a better superhero and like really has to like step up to the plate, whereas like his idol Iron Man's like already been there like day one. So it does that well, and I think that's why it's one of the better ones, if not the best Spider-Man movie, because people have to start from like scratch, so it's realistic in that like dimension.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it's the best. So, yeah.
I'll throw out some counterpoints. I love the movie. Like, Spider-Man is hands down my favorite superhero ever. So I love the movie, but there has been some criticisms, and I'm gonna bring them up a little later. But I love how the movie feels so New York. Like, everything felt so New York.
Like from that corner store to like just everything.
Like just that loud dude in the middle of the street, like, "Hey, you Spider-Man?" Do a flip. Oh, fucking Hannibal Buress was in like 2 scenes. He killed both of them.
Hannibal Buress playing Hannibal Buress.
Oh, I was dying. The whole school setting was just dope to me. How awkward the those little kid news things we used to do back in like middle school. Jesus. Man, that hit so hard when I saw that. Oh, you know what I'm talking about, Josh?
I do.
Yeah.
And I was thinking of something that I was just kind of in my own head thinking about something Matt was talking about following through with Spider-Man in general, like, seeing him become Spider-Man. There's something that I think every superhero movie could learn from this, and I don't know if y'all really considered it. They did something that I hate. Most movies do something I hate, and they rehash the story of Batman or the Ninja Turtles or something. We already know their origin story, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't waste half an hour showing fucking Uncle Ben getting shot in his face. Like,
yeah.
So I felt like they gave you an origin story with a quick conversation or something.
Well, it was literally a sentence mentioning Uncle Ben.
Uncle Ben and mentioning the spider biting him. Like, it was that quick.
Yeah. Yeah. And they didn't even say Uncle Ben's name. They just alluded to him.
They really didn't.
Yeah.
So that was actually, people have been complaining. Like, people have been complaining that there's like no emotional weight in the movie
of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But did they not watch the movie, or
because they were comparing it to Spider-Man 2, the Raimi film, and like, people love that movie because he was going through so much bullshit in his life, trying to balance it, and that was like the best part of the movie for them. And this one, it wasn't like Peter's life was just like falling apart. Trying to balance.
I felt it was more okay. I agree with you, but I think that fits Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man better than it would fit him, because Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, regardless of what we want to say, was more of an adult Spider-Man.
Right.
Like, he was older. So I could see him going through that. This Spider-Man is supposed to be a kid, and I felt like the whole movie he was going through some kid shit. So, his biggest struggle was basically trying to appease and get Iron Man's approval, and he wasn't giving it to him. And then his other hurdle was trying to get the girl he liked to notice him. And I felt like that fit the theme of the high school experience that they were going for.
Yeah, I agree for the most part, because people are comparing this movie to Spider-Man 2. Like I don't know if you saw the debates, like Spider-Man 2 is just a better movie. But it's unfair to compare this Spider-Man to Spider-Man 2, because it's Spider-Man 2. He's been through all this shit already, and he's just trying to live. So I would say this would be better than the first Spider-Man movie.
And I'll agree there.
And it's not. It was to me. It didn't feel like it was supposed to be like the movie wasn't supposed to be like this altering thing, altering life-changing moment for Peter Parker. It's just one of them. It's a small little thing. That's what I love about it the most. It's just a small little thing. And you just get a little bit of cameos from here and there, but it's just a small issue that he has to take care of.
I feel like they just didn't want the Uncle Ben thing to define his character anymore. Like that whole "you killed my father" thing has been played out since the 70s. Like, give him something else. I feel like this gives him a little more depth because basically the whole Spider-Man thing is the equivalent to Batman, in my opinion. So it's like, we've seen this before. Give me something different.
Yeah.
The one thing that they did well is they introduced Peter to a character that can actually touch his whole life, a villain, and the realization, like, yo, he could really kill my family. Like, that whole scene.
Nigga, yes. There was so much tension. And I will say that I can't remember the kid's name that plays Spider-Man for the life of me.
Tom Holland?
Yeah, his facial expressions and mannerisms during that whole moment, like, obviously don't tell him what was going on or who it was, but I really felt like I was him for a moment. Like, God, this is awkward as hell. It was perfect. It was really perfect.
Yeah. Did you see it coming?
Yes,
because of how much they didn't show you of that life, of that side. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And they kept amping up that you. It's so hard to talk without the spoilers, but yes, I saw it coming. Will.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like, they practically alluded to it when scenes in the movie. You can easily pick it together.
But even that was still kind of rough too.
How do you feel about the Spider-Man suit?
I loved it.
You loved it?
Loved it. Yeah, loved it.
People were complaining that it's too Iron Man-y and not enough Spider-Man because, Spider-Man was a guy that did all this shit himself. He's the self-made superhero, and they didn't like the fact that
I agree, but I feel like, you know how they basically were saying that, Spidey sense and stuff like that wasn't in there for real. I feel like what they're building towards is him utilizing the suit in that manner and then figuring out that he doesn't need it.
I believe they fixed 2 issues going that route. The one, they had no choice. They had to do it. Spider-Man came in too late in the MCU. There's already so many things going on inside this world that it wouldn't make sense for Tony Stark not to notice Spider-Man and not want to help him out. If this was like, if Spider-Man came in back in 2008, then we would have got all the self-made aspects of it.
Right.
But and the second issue is nothing worse than live action Peter Parker actually talk to himself a lot like he does in the comics, because it just doesn't sit, it just look right, doesn't feel right. But while giving him the suit that actually talks back to him, that you can get those like things that's going on within his mind like he do in the comics.
Oh, you know what? I can get with that.
So that was actually really clever for them, because I noticed him. He talks a lot in this movie.
He does, but it's great. That's some of the best moments. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you that. That's some of the best moments in that.
He does get spider sense though. If you haven't seen what I'm talking about, the trailer for Infinity War leaked.
I didn't watch it because I was waiting.
I still haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, he.
So I did hear about that though.
The contention was he didn't really use spider sense. How did he not see all this like there's certain parts of the movie, like if he had spider sense, he could have saw that happening before it happened. But I saw some theories on the internet that said that in Iron Man, not Iron Man, but Captain America Civil War, the first thing Peter said was like everything is like dialed to 11 for his senses, so he uses the mask to kind of dull it down.
Oh, okay.
So it kind of says that he doesn't know what spider sense is, but in the trailer, like he's just on the bus and all you can just see all his hair like stand up and he notices. So
okay.
So, and it didn't even, and what's his name? Thanos wasn't even on Earth yet. So Thanos might be out here in this Civil War movie. I think people are going to actually die.
He better be, because they're and that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for some deaths to come through.
So that
because Mark Ruffalo was in a Anthony Mackie, and he was saying, he's like, oh yeah, people die, and then so like they're playing it up like it's a joke, but like that's still like a very cloak and dagger thing for them to do, because he could be serious that people do end up dying.
Yeah.
But because it is technically a 2-part movie, without it actually being Infinity 1 and 2, it's like that's still a very good possibility. There's a good possibility that the team we see right now is wiped out, and then something happens at the start of Infinity 2 that either brings people back, or like half the team's gone, or like there's a problem. Like there's a lot that they can really do. So.
I feel like stuff like that is kind of downplayed in like today's time, just because of the internet, to where like back in the day, if a death happened and then you brought them back like the next movie, that could be something really shocking. But I feel like nowadays with the internet, we'd all figure it out quickly, like who's on set, who's not.
I have some theories, but currently I'm waiting on Josh to finish on Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. so we can discuss.
I'm bullshitting, I know.
So we can actually discuss what some theories is about to happen. But
all right, so you're telling me that watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
That's why I've been. This is why I've been pushing you so hard to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
All right, man. All right, we get back into it. All right, sorry, we having this personal conversation. Yeah, I've been bullshitting him.
If you're a Marvel fan and you haven't watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the first 12 episodes of the first season is garbage. But after that, I swear to you, it gets consistently better.
I'll agree, because I'm telling you, that first 12 episodes was
it was one of the roughest. Yeah, it was the roughest experience you'll ever have in your life. But end of season 4, it might be worth it for you.
I'm a peep it. If you're telling me it ties into it like that, where you can actually start to question the future movies, then definitely that's something I'm interested in getting into.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting, because like I know that they said that they were related, but like everything that they did was just so very loosely related. It just seemed like MCU didn't really give a shit about their like TV universe.
It is loosely related. Some things do tie into directly towards the movies, but Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is more of the street level, like what's going on with the Earth between like low tier superpowers against humans. It's not supposed to be the Avengers level. It's just supposed to.
It feels like watching. Did you ever watch Smallville?
Yeah.
Basically that, dealing with smaller threats every episode or so, where you'd think that if you're watching something like Justice League, Superman would have backhanded whoever the hell was in front of him in this show.
Right.
But it's done well. And you feel like S.H.I.E.L.D. should be handling these situations.
Yeah. These are like S.H.I.E.L.D. specific tasks. You wouldn't be calling like Iron Man or something like this for a situation like what they're dealing with.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a really good show. This will, and also to go back on Spider-Man, this might be the Spider-Man 2 that people are looking for as far as like the emotional aspect. Like he's going into this as a kid and people are dying and there's gonna be some weight behind Peter Parker Spider-Man's character, you know what I mean? So I think people who are complaining that there's no emotionally weight in this movie is really going to feel it in like the next Spider-Man movie after all this shit has happened.
Another thing is they also allude to other Spider-Men, like future Spider-Men. So
was
pretty cool.
Yeah, the Miles Morales. Do you know who we're talking about, Josh?
Yeah, the Spanish half black kid or whatever.
Yeah, no, Childish Gambino's character.
Was that him?
No, well, no,
uncle.
that's his uncle.
His uncle.
Oh,
And he is the Prowler. So after in the Ultimate series with Miles Morales, he goes to the Osborn's tower to go steal some stuff, and a spider like latched onto his bag, and he accidentally brought it home, and that's how Miles Morales got bit.
okay.
So
I feel like nobody. I'm still curious about this whole spider thing. It's like how this only happened to them two? Like nobody else realized that getting bit by this spider gives you superpowers. Like nobody figured this out already?
Well, no one knew the thing that gave them superpowers was being bit. They didn't.
But
know.
I'm saying I feel like there should have been an accident by now of somebody being bit by this spider.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know.
Like I feel like the spider should have been a one.
Well, in the Ultimate series, the lab gets destroyed. And
Okay,
the lab gets destroyed in the Ultimate series. That's where Miles Morales is from. I don't know about the Amazing. It's way too long, and he was already an adult by the time I wasn't with that. I wanted the kid Spider-Man, and this is what that Spider-Man is based off. That's why I love it so much.
You know what? I want to go into. I mean, we talked a lot about DC and Marvel. I want to get into some anime stuff right now. I don't know if y'all checked out. Have you seen the trailer for the live-action Death Note yet, Will? I know Matt checked it.
No, I've been waiting. I'm just gonna watch it.
You know what? While me and Matt discuss, look at the trailer real quick. I want you to see it. It's like a minute long.
Okay, look
it up real quick. I want to discuss that. But Matt, what do you think about
it? So, all right, going through it like a second time, because it's not a direct adaptation like a lot of things like FMA is going to be. Like Fullmetal Alchemist, when that comes out later on this year in Japan, like that's a direct adaptation. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Diamond is Unbreakable, that's out today. That's a direct adaptation. Rurouni Kenshin, those three movies, that was a direct adaptation. My thing with Death Note is they only really kind of take the likenesses. They don't do direct adaptations, and the problem with that is the exact problem. A lot of people want to watch these because they want to see what they've seen in the show brought to life. They want to see that in 3D. They want to see that in like modern day times, and you lose a lot of what people are expecting. Much like how we expect certain things in DC and Marvel, like you lose a lot of that when you decide to act too far out of like the source material. So like Light being white, L being black, and like their whole get-ups are just completely different. So it's like I can understand why a lot of people are angry because you're destroying a mythos that's already perfectly done.
I don't disagree with any of it. I think what they did this route, if anime fans weren't as, how can I say,
vitriolic.
yeah, like we don't, basically there was no way to please all the anime. There was no way to please anime fans with doing adaptations. It never is.
No.
But I feel like with this, if anime fans were more rational, this would have been the perfect thing to do, because basically, as far as an adaptation is concerned, you're never going to get all the content in. So already you're fighting with your hands behind your back. Whereas this way, you get your characters, but you get a different story, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So you might be able to get something new and fresh. It's kind of like, I watched the Japanese adaptation of Death Note, and to me, I prefer the live action story to the anime, just simply because it cuts out a lot of the stuff that I didn't like about the anime. Like a lot of characters I thought were useless, and I got to see more L than what was in the anime. And it's like, I got different stuff, and I feel like that they did that, but to an extreme. So from looking at it on its face, I say it feels more like a lot less like Death Note and more like a typical suspense thriller, which wasn't what Death Note was. It was more psychological, and I feel like they've lost that, just like they did with the Ghost in the Shell. They really dumbed it down.
Yeah, it's like kind of the danger of it. You can, like you said, when you were getting more of it, like you get to see L and you get to see light. Going that route, that's better, because like in a lot of anime, there's just like a lot of like bullshit scenes that you're kind of just like, that you probably could have got rid of that and you would still get your point across for this episode. But I think there's a lot to be said for the way Rurouni Kenshin went, because looking at the scores for that, I mean, it's like on Rotten Tomatoes and plenty of other places, they give it high scores. Like,
oh, it's great. That's amazing.
Like all three movies, like the lowest percentage I've seen is for the third movie, which was the ending. It was 76%. Everything, the other two were 84 and 81. And then you look at Attack on Titan, those two movies were 34% viewer rating on each. But it's like, Attack on Titan, that's what?
Because it was utter garbage.
Yeah, I mean that whole, because it's based off the first season. The first season sucked.
I wouldn't say it was based off the first season either.
Yeah, it's just like that. I think that whole, there's problems with that show that like it could be better, but it's like there's like a lot of other shows that do that dynamic of like evil, like weird, out there thing that's trying to kill us better than Attack on Titan does.
Yeah. I'm not gonna argue with you on that.
But I mean, there's Cowboy Bebop that's in the works right now, so that can potentially be really good.
I feel like you'd have to be retarded to mess that up.
It's true. True. There's, for a while I saw that there was they were trying to make Akira, but that's in hell right now apparently. So it's just stuck.
Yeah, they couldn't. I know the last directors they tried to get, they wouldn't approve the budget he wanted, and he was like, if you don't approve that, then it's kind of no point. Because if you can't get the Neo Tokyo look down, then
it defeats the purpose.
Right. I mean, Ghost in the Shell looked great.
Anything that don't look like Ghost in the Shell's Neo Tokyo or whatever the fuck that was terrible. Oh god, that was terrible.
The look of it, I didn't watch the movie. I thought the look looked really
You know what? Actually, I take that back. That Neo Tokyo fit Akira way more than it did Ghost in the Shell.
I don't know, because I mean, Akira is one of my favorite, anime movies. It's one of the things that got me into anime. I feel like the Neo Tokyo of Akira was more slummish.
Oh yeah, it was pretty slummish in Ghost in the Shell.
Oh
yeah, it was pretty slummish there too.
Okay, so I get what you're saying. Did you watch the trailer yet, Will?
Yeah, I watched it. I don't really have any opinions. I just want to see it. I don't know. I don't like any. The only adaptation I like is all you can do is kill or something like that. The Tom Cruise movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the only one that I like, and they didn't follow its source material to the T.
Yeah, After this podcast, we're gonna sit down and watch Rurouni Kenshin. Trust me. Trust me.
I don't know.
If you watch it, if you go ahead and run these with me, yo, I'll go hard on the Marvel. I'll be here all day tomorrow.
All right,
Jesus.
we can do that then.
I need something to do. But overall, I will say this. I saw the early reviews for the Death Note adaptation, and basically what everyone... They gave it pretty low marks. It's higher than expected. Like, I was seeing a lot of, like, 6.5, 7, saying it was pretty good.
So the whole series, or just like the first episode?
No, it's a movie.
Yeah,
Oh, it's a movie?
Sure.
Oh, I know
Yeah,
that. Oh, shit.
Yeah, I'm not sure if because there was rumors saying it was going to be a 2-parter, but they're saying that the content is pretty long. It's like 2.5 hours, and everyone gave high praise, but we already knew this, that William Dafoe like killed that role as Ryu.
Yeah.
But you could already tell that from just the trailer.
Yeah.
They said that Light and L's characters were mad forgettable, which is upsetting because
Those
They
are
got
the
it.
two.
Pivotal.
Yeah, I think I read a review actually. They said the Light and L was trash, but everybody else is so interesting. I was like, man.
yeah, they were hyping up the supporting cast. Which is sad though, because the guy that plays L, that's the same dude from Atlanta and Get Out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he, I've been pretty much rocking with everything he's been doing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't expect to like this one either, so I'm not gonna waste my breath trying to shit on something I ain't see yet. I'll watch it, shit on it for like 2 minutes, and then keep it moving.
Because you already expecting trash.
Yeah.
The best it can do is exceed expectations.
Exactly.
Because I remember I showed you the Death Note movies, and you was not thrilled, but you gotta admit that was the best adaptation you've seen.
Nigga, I don't know. I already told you what that best adaptation it was. And it wasn't to that level, I'm not with it.
Yeah, but if you're not following source, and this did, I don't know.
I was not with those movies.
You're a first, I'm telling you.
Yeah,
You're a
yeah,
first.
yeah. Well, I thought those movies was trash.
You just mad the chip scene wasn't good enough.
It really wasn't.
Nah, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff coming out. Hopefully, we'll have more information on Flashpoint the next episode, because I definitely want to follow that, because I'll be honest, that's what really got me excited about hearing that Ben Affleck might be bowing out, because I was like, if they do a Flashpoint and you get like Thomas Wayne and stuff, that could be a fresh look on the DC universe. So
that
hopefully
and
we'll have
you said Batman Beyond too?
yeah, that's the rumor that
Oof,
they got.
if they make a Batman Beyond movie, I'm so with that.
It's so crazy. I'm so with it too, but it's so crazy that DC again is letting Batman carry him. It's like they're planning on making all these DC movies, but Batman's the only one that gets a trilogy confirmed instantly before he even had.
You know
a movie.
why? You know why? Because nobody wants to watch a bunch of shit of people or gods that they can't relate to. Batman's like one of the most relatable motherfuckers ever. And they're villains. They're all relatable. They're just human beings just trying to make a come up. But gods is always stopping them.
And I don't deny that, and I don't disagree, but it's like, let's not pretend that, Marvel doesn't make, even though I like the first one, I hope the third one's going to be great. Looking at the trailer, it looks like it might, but, people like the Thor movies and stuff, so it's not like that can't do well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it's a different dynamic.
That's true, too.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Thor movie, that movie looks amazing.
Oh,
Yeah.
as soon as I saw Hulk, I was like, wait a minute, we get Planet Hulk? Okay, I'm in there.
Man, the whole aesthetics of Thor looks like Guardians. I ain't gonna lie, it looks like Guardians.
Well, that's probably because they decided to tag along and do the whole, 80s rock feel with their trailer too. Like they're going.
Yeah, like,
I can see what they're trying to do, capitalize on that hype.
Well, I think they're probably planning it to tie directly, like where Thor ends. It's probably where, like when you see him end in Thor Ragnarok, you'll probably see him again sometime in the start of Infinity
Oh
War.
yeah, it's in the you might actually get spoiled on Ragnarok on the trailer of in the trailer of Infinity War.
Probably.
Oh no, you definitely will. Like, there's no, in like the first 10 seconds, you get spoiled.
I mean, like I already have like a couple of theories of like how it's gonna end because it's. I just feel like it's not that. I feel like they're not gonna resolve it. Like, I feel like that's gonna segue into a fourth Thor movie.
No.
Or something. But I don't know, because I feel like they could do that, like, because they need to have more movies where like the hero doesn't necessarily win. He doesn't lose, but he doesn't win. Because then you're just like, okay.
Well,
like,
that
kind of sucks if they always. I mean, it kind of sucks if they always win.
That was
It's
kind
like,
of the Civil War movie because no one really won.
well, I mean, it was heroes against heroes.
Yeah, but
No one wins when you do that.
yeah, I think that was the movie they put out. But I don't know. But anything else?
No, I think that's pretty good. I think we got a lot of decent talks out of this. Yeah, next week we'll hopefully, like I said, hopefully have a little bit more information on, the movies that are coming up. There's, especially on Batman, there's just stuff that's just feeding in and out, constantly. Maybe find out some more information on this Bebop. But other than that, yeah, I feel like we got everything.
We should talk about summer anime, how we feel about this season's anime next week too.
Yeah, there's some stuff I'm amped up for. So yeah, we can definitely do that. But
Awesome.
I think that's going to be it for us. So I appreciate you guys listening. Make sure you follow us at the Anime Agenda on Facebook. We'll also have the links to our email address if you have any questions or topics that you want discussed. But yeah, that's it.
Sounds good.
All right, guys.